Hello again. Pleased to say it's not raining just yet, but it is due to start. So we're going down to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to Teignmouth, the pier. Today I've got a few clips from other videos, some nostalgic, some negative, something historic which I want to show you. Well, it's easy to decide whether or not the pier has been maintained properly. Everyone's got their own opinion, but I'm not doing any of that. But anything negative that I might say will be backed up by personal proof, and it's personal anecdotes from me. It's my own personal opinion, just covering that to begin with. Other than that though, I wish them the best, whatever they choose to do, and there's plenty on Facebook if you want to get involved in all the discussions about it. With that said, let's make our way down there and into Wellington Street. But we're not staying on it. We're going to cut across into the triangle. Xena, Sterling Gifts, silver, jewellery and gifts. Flash sale today. Happy Valentine's Day. Smash in. It's our fountain in all its wintry glory. Courtney, now the home of the neurodivergent hub. Excellent. Look at this, the market is now twice a month. Don't tell Mum. She'll be drowning in cake. Anyway, there's the dates. She'll be pausing this now and making sure I write all this down for her. That was nice. Just had a lovely chat with Jo from the Neurodivergent Hub. You saw me looking in the window there and filming the picture of the market times. And she says all sorts of things in the pipeline now for older people, young adults, teens. They're going to do sort of money management skills, all sorts of educational stuff. Really good. But anyway, we said we were going to talk about the pier, didn't we? And I'm going to take you back in time now to something I shot about the rides at the end of the pier. Oh yes. And it was a bit of a sunnier day back then. I'll put the date on the screen when we start watching it, when it starts going. And yes, this is about some of the rides at the end of the pier. And unfortunately, when I filmed this, I didn't have any teeth. So I sound a little bit different. Anyway, there we go. Right, roll VT. Right, just going to pop to the end of the pier for some of Dan's pictures. Right, so back in the pier's heyday, before it was widened out on both sides, and it used to just be that width all the way along, over there in this corner used to be like ride-on carts, very boxy, bright primary colours. Been here all my lifetime, I can remember them. Here's a couple of shots of those in that corner. Further along you have some mini motorbikes and some mini race cars, which were here. Here you go. And then towards the end of the pier there was that red shed hut which had remote control cars. You can just see the picture of a car on it, and the steering wheels are still there, where you could drive little remote control cars around inside it. Here you go. And finally, just past that shed, there was like a crocodile ride and some other stuff. Here's a shot of the very end of the pier. Well, there we go, that's how it used to look. All the way up here when you had all the rides and attractions in full swing. And now again, that's pre-2014, when everything seemed to stop here. Right, well thanks again Dan for those pictures, much appreciated. So there we are, that was the rides and that at the end of the pier. As I say, I sound a little bit different then, but couldn't help it. I was going to see if I'd go down and get underneath it. Show you how much erosion of the sand is there. Well, you see quite a bit of it from here, can't you? I might just go and stick my nose down and peek around the corner. Here we go, peek around the corner. Oh, I think I can make that. I think that's relatively safe. Famous last words, washed out to sea, YouTuber in Teignmouth. Blimey, we got the wind. Yeah, we can see how much of the sand has gone indeed underneath the pier. But again, that's probably down a lot to the storms, more so than just a general erosion. I don't know though, I'm not an expert on it. Not an expert. But that's what it looks like underneath. They did have a report they published the other day saying it is still deemed safe, at least the first part, this bit above me. And they plan to reopen further down towards the back doors in sections as and when each one is registered as safe. Blimey. Splashy, splashy up there as well. Right, I want to get off from down here, it's a bit precarious. Now, there we are. Got another clip for you. This is again from the same person sent in, Dan, who sent in these other pictures. But this is something to do with what was inside the pier. And it's the old sweets machines, the traffic light machines. Very popular at the time. Anyway, Run VT. Here's some shots of them to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Thanks, Dan. Now I just come onto the pier to see if I could find the sign that Dan says was stashed away still behind somewhere, but I couldn't find that anyway. So I just stood up here grabbing a bit of this. But yes, I do remember those very well myself. I was never a great sweet person as a child, and if I ever won sweets anywhere, I'd rarely ever eat them. I'd just give them away or chuck them away. But the sweets that came out of those tuck shop things, I don't remember what they were now, but they were really nice. And I did used to enjoy those. And that is the, used to be remote controlled cars in there, but we'll do that another day. And I was just going to say the other day that I was really pleased they removed the dead seagull from the end of the pier, but they haven't. They've just moved it up slightly. So squeamish disposition, turn away now. I'm not going to be a horrific close-up or anything, but it just proves I'm not making things up completely. There he is. There. See, right in the middle of the shot now, behind the railings, that is indeed a dead seagull that has been left for display purposes. But yes, those tuck shot machines were certainly unique. Never seen anything like them anywhere else. And unfortunately, another thing that never returned after the 2014 damage to the front of the pier, which is a shame. Dan informs me that he's actually been in contact with the pier to ask if they're still available, perhaps for him to purchase so he can restore them. But he's received no response back from the pier whatsoever. So, no surprise there. Anyway, more happy news. Kayak Hub is open for business. There we go, back to present day. Now you may think I was being a little bit negative there with the business about the dead seagulls. But that was the thing. When a seagull came along and died there, they never moved it. They just left it to rot, which always annoyed me. And I've spoken to Andy about it this morning. He said, well, funnily enough, Bill, last time I was on there myself, wasn't that long ago, late last year. He says, right behind the things, there we are, there's a picture, another dead seagull. So like I say, I don't like to be negative, but that was my take on it. A lot of dead seagulls. But anyway, let's have something a bit more positive, shall we? Why not? Right, this is a lovely positive piece about the pier. Basically, it's a PDF, which is like a document format that you can read, shows up on your screen, which is available on my site, my sister site, billsphonetimber.com, for free with no adverts. Anyway, here's a little piece I did about it, showing some of what you can see if you want to go and visit it. Here we go. And of course the pier. So here we go. Time to introduce this wonderful PDF document sent in by Jeffrey about the pier. And it's very interesting. Not only is it comprehensive, it also deals specifically with areas that I've talked about on Bill's phone, Teignmouth, and uses quite a few pictures that I took myself as well, and shots from the drone, etc. So yes, it covers a lot. Anyway, I'm going to show you a 50s, 60s picture now of the pier. Then I'm going to run a little pre-prepared shot of the PDF for you. So off you go.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll upon the from, where the brass bands play in the autumn. So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee. And there's lots of girls beside. I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea.
So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Look for that picture, flash it up again quickly on the Bill's Phone Teignmouth site, click on it, get to that PDF. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks Jeffrey, smash it. And that is of course still there now. So if you want to visit the site and have a look at that, you're more than welcome. Thanks Jeffrey for putting that together. Brilliant. So there we go, that's the pier. Like I say, my thoughts on it. And it's indeed just my thoughts. I'm entitled to my opinion. And there we go, really. Such a shame. Right, I'm going to have an earlier one today, an easier one, with all those little clips added in. Still got to edit them up, of course, but I'm not going to stay out much longer. I'll have a day where I don't get absolutely soaked and don't get absolutely freezing. I think we'll just walk along and see whether or not those railings have been moved yet. We've got the observation deck, then head up home. Sorry for the negativity on the pier in today's video. I don't like being negative at all in these videos, I'm sure you know that by now. I like to keep things as positive as possible. Unfortunately though, at the moment in Teignmouth, this is very much a hot button issue with the state of the pier, and it does need to be documented. Wonder what will happen to it. I wonder. Anyway, enough negativity for the day. Let's get into something a bit more positive. Why not? Positive thing number one. I can see orange men at spray point, so they're obviously doing something. It looks like the barriers might have gone. Might have gone. I'm going to try and get down there on Sunday and see. And in the meantime, look at that. Got some new fencing put in. That's good, isn't it? Not exactly the same, but it serves its purpose. And at least it's been done. A bit of maintenance goes a long way, doesn't it? Excellent. There we are, a bit of positivity. Bit of positivity. It's great news. And lo and behold, the liquid sunshine has just hit me on the side of my face. It's a signal that I timed this quite well. As I said, we just pop our heads onto the observation deck if it's open. Get a final shot from up there. Yeah, we're open. We are open. There we are, Rufus Land, one last shot. And a final shot of the pier. Because this is a pier related video. Finally though, train! And a crossover at Spray Point. Look at that. Smash in. And with that, we shall call it a day. A bit of bunny activity, if I can hold the phone steady in the wind. 1, 2, 3, 4 bunnies. Ha ha ha. Bonus train. There we go. That really is it now. Right, call it a day. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully going in the poly steps direction tomorrow, weather permitting. We'll have to see. Take care. Bye.